All right. All right. So first of all, I'm just going to play with this. So like, a half is kind of like, well, here's a pizza and here's half of it, right? And then 2/3. 2/3 look like this. Here's a pizza. Here's 1/3. Here's 2/3. I'll shade those in. So there's 2/3. Does that make sense? So this is 1 out of 2. This is 2 out of 3. You with me so far? Right? Now, when we do 12 of these, what's that? We can use the distributive property. And we can multiply 12 times half of the pizzas. And then we can go 12 times 2/3 of the pizzas. But 12 times half of the pizzas is going to look like, this. These aren't as big, but essentially you would have, here's a half a pizza, but here's another half. So that's 2 halves, isn't it? Make one whole, right? And here's more. So let's see what we got here. Here's a half. That's 3 halves, 4 halves, 5 halves, 6 halves, 7 halves, 8 halves, 9 halves, 10 halves, 11 halves, 12 halves. What does 12 halves make? What does it make? Half of 6 would be 3. 12 halves makes what? 12 half pizzas. Here they are. Here's one of them. That's 1 half. That's another half of pizza. Here's 6 holes, you think? 6 holes, right? You would be correct. So 6 holes is what we have there, right? And if you think I'm too crazy to multiply the other one by 12, I'm not actually. I am too crazy. That's the problem. So 12 2/3. How many thirds is that? Well, let's see. Okay, so here I go with my thirds. Now, it's 12 times 2/3, okay? So here's 1/3, here's 2/3. You see that? But now let me use purple because here's another 2/3, right? See that? You got that? Here's another 2/3. There again, here's another 2/3, right? Here's another 2/3. Here's another 2/3. Purple. This one and this one. Here's another 2/3. So how many 2/3 have we got so far? We need 12 of them, by the way. How many 2/3 have we got so far? I've got a red, a purple, that's 2. An orange is 3. A red is 4. Our purple is 5. Orange is 6. Right? How many do I need? How many 2/3 do I need? Need 12 2/3. All right. Okay. So here's another 2/3 because that's a full pizza and I just got 2/3 of it. It's red. Do you see that? All right. Let's get another 2/3. We'll do orange. This one and this one. You got that? Here's another 2/3. We'll do this in black just for fun, right? Here's another 2/3. We'll do it in yellow. And here's another 2/3. We'll do it in purple. And here's another 2/3. We'll do this one in yellow as well. Now, how many 2/3 do I have there? Nope. Try again. Try again. So, we'll count them slowly. These 2 red ones, don't they make 2/3? So, do they? Why? So is that like, okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Here's a pizza. Here's the middle of the pizza. I cut it into 3, okay? When I shade this and this represents 2/3 of the pizza, doesn't it? That is 2/3, isn't it? That's what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense? Okay. So when I look at these little red ones, this is 2/3, isn't it? Because that's a third and that's a third. So that is 2/3, right? Now, if I take this purple slice, that's 1/3, and I add it to this other third over here, that also makes 2/3, doesn't it? So the red, there's 2/3. The purple, there's another 2/3. You with me so far? How many 2/3 have we got so far? 2 of them. Now, if we take these 2 orange slices, there's another 2/3 of a pizza, right? How many 2/3 have we got now? 3. Okay, now add this red one on. There's another one. 2/3, isn't it? And here's another one. Oh, sorry. The purple is another 2/3, isn't it? It's 2/3 of a pizza, isn't it? All right. Here, the orange, that's another 2/3, and so on, right? The red, that's 2/3. The orange, that's another 2/3. The black, that's another 2/3. The yellow, that's another 2/3. No, it doesn't show up very well. The purple, that's another 2/3, isn't it? And this yellow, that's another 2/3, isn't it? So how many 2/3 do we have there? 12 2/3. Good, that's what we wanted. Because it was 12 times a half, and then 12 times 2/3, right? Now, what does the 12 2/3 make altogether? If we put all these 2/3 together, how many pizzas do we have? How many pizzas are there? So this is a pizza, isn't it? That's one. This is another pizza here. That's 2 pizzas, isn't it? How many pizzas have we got there? You sure? Okay, let me break it down a bit. That's a pizza, that's a pizza. How many pizzas do I have? Sure? Right. Okay, give me another one. That's a pizza, that's a pizza, that's a pizza, that's a pizza. How many pizzas do I have? Right. How many pizzas are here? Yeah. So, when I got 12 halves, put them all together, I got 6 whole pizzas, right? And when I got 12 2/3, put all them together, I got 8 whole pizzas. So how many pizzas do we have in total now? Good job. 14 pizzas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pizzas. Alright, so that is breaking it down, just show you all what is going on, and get some sort of a feel and some sort of an image for what the real answer should be. Now, the math looks like this. The distributive property is going back to, you might have seen where, remember when we talked about, like if you have a bag, and in the bag there's like an apple and a banana, okay? So in the bag there's, well, I'll draw, here's an apple, here's an apple, here's a banana. See that? Remember when we said if I have 10 of these bags, like 10 of these bags, how much fruit is that? What have I got? Lovely. So you got 10 apples and 10 bananas. So what you do is you take this 10 and you multiply it by this term and then you multiply it by that term. That's what the language of math is here, right? So what it looks like in math world, it looks like this. 10 parenthesis A plus B. But that just means 10 bags, and in each bag there's an apple and a banana. So what should this be when I multiply it out? What's 10 times A plus B? Yeah, 10A plus 10B. Yep, so that's the distributive property. You take this number, you multiply it by this, then you multiply it by this. See with numbers, it's easy with numbers too, because tell me what is What is 2 plus 3? 5. Okay. And if I had, say, the number 4 outside here, right? So this would be 4 times 5. And what's 4 times 5? 20. Good. Right. Now, if I take this 4 and multiply it by 2, what do I get? 8. Take this 4, multiply it by 3, what do we get? 12, right? And 8 plus 12 is 20. So you can solve this with the distributive property if you want to, or you can add what's on the inside and then multiply. But either way, the answer should be the same, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. So the distributive property means you take this number and you multiply it by this, and then you multiply it by this, right? Now 12, how do I write 12 as a fraction, by the way? Lovely. So 12 over 1. So I can go 12 over 1 times 1 over 2 plus 12 over 1 times 2 over 3, right? You see that? Plus 12 over 1 times 2 over 3. Yep. We can cross cancel at this point the 2 and the 12 to get 6 over 1. I'm just going to write like this. That's 12 over 2, isn't it? Right? And we can cross cancel here to get 3 into 3 goes once, 3 into 12 goes 4 times, 4 times 2 is 8. But just for fun, I'm going to multiply across. 12 times 2 is 24 over 8. Just because I think it looks a little bit neater or clearer. Anyway, so 12 over 2 is... what? Gives what? 12 over 2 gives what? One step at a time. Hi, Fallon. What's it? 12 over 2 is 6. What's 24 over 8? Oh, 3, I mean. Look at that. Made a mistake. 24 over 3. Sorry. So this is 12 over 2. That's 24 over 3. And 24 over 3 gives what? It gives 8. And 6 plus 8 is? 14. All right, got that part. Good job.